So I'm showing you what I'm doing today. I put some mulch over here to hold the fabric down on the one side, and I don't like to put the plants where the fabric joins up because you really have to have a lot of overlap, and I end up with more weeds creeping through the holes. But anyway, so here's what I did. I took this dollar store fabric and I dug my holes first. So I have these holes, and you can see there's lots of weeds in there. So, but I didn't worry about that the last time I did this, so I'm showing you how I did this the last time. I just dug the holes where the lawn was, and while I scalped the lawn first, but now it's regrown a bit, and I don't care that much. So anyway, I put the holes in, and then I put the fabric over, and then I could see where the holes were, and I cut the fabric where the holes were. So this time I cut the fabric a lot more, and I shouldn't have. I'll have to do put another layer on, I think, because that's just way too big. But you can see what I did last time. So this is my old fabric, which I'm using again, but I'm going to put other fabric over top anyway. But you can see this hole ended up being a lot bigger over the years than it started out with. I just had a tiny little hole that I was able to tuck the top of the seedling through. So what I did is, like here, I've dug the hole, and I'll pull this back like so, and I'll put the seedling in, and then I'll tuck the head through and then push this back and cover it with mulch. So that's what I did in the past with this old fabric, and you can see there's lots of weeds, roots and stuff, and I tried to get it out as much as I can, but because why not use it again? It's just it's not going to work very well. So I'm going to need another layer of fabric anyway. But here's what I did the last time I did this, is I decided where I wanted my holes in the fabric, and then I used some of this marking paint and just sprayed where the holes were, and then I'm able to lift the fabric over and dig the holes that way too. So there's a number of different ways you can do that, and so that's one way. And you might think, oh well, I don't want paint in my vegetable garden. Well, you won't have, because you're going to dig that out. So here's what else I did today. So you can see this dollar store garden mesh hanging on the wall, and it goes all the way up, and I've stapled it to the whatever is that called, fascia or something. Anyway, because now my sweet peas are starting to come up here, and they need something to grow on. So, and it won't take them that long to get to the point where they need something to grow on, but I could have waited. I'm not putting this mesh in. I didn't put it in today because they need it right away. I put it in because I will be planting my tomatoes about here, and once I put my tomatoes in, I don't want to have to be putting any mesh or anything over top. I didn't want to risk wrecking my tomato plants, right? So I can see there's also some other things coming up here now. The Royal Burgundy bush beans that I put in here are coming up, so that's nice too, and something else too. So that's great too. I can't remember exactly what I put there. I'd have to look at my garden map, because you might think, oh, I'll remember, but no, unless you put a garden map, you won't. So this is the garden patch that James and I, the new one, where we moved the fabric from and put the fabric over there, the used fabric, and then I'll put new fabric over top of that. Anyway, so this is where the fabric and mulch used to be, and some things are starting to come up. The carrots, and there's something here that's in a row and I can see it all the way along, that is coming up, and I'd have to check the garden map to know what it is, because I won't remember. I think I might remember, but I will not. There's just so many things happening, and I won't remember where I put what I put where. But you can see there's some weeds coming up now, especially right along the edge where the fabric ended before. It's coming up a lot. And where the fabric ended over here, there's stuff coming up. And over here where there wasn't fabric before, there's plenty coming up. So I have to deal with that, because I'm just going to have to, I'm going to be dealing with it in the garden later anyway. So these ones I will deal with while I'm planting the tomatoes in here. So that's, I mean, you might be disappointed. You're going along and there's sunflowers. That's nice to see. A nice row of that. That'll be lovely. You might think, oh, I worked so hard and here I have weeds. Well, you know, that's not that bad. It's been a couple weeks now that they've been, since we got this ready for planting, and that's really not a lot of weeds. So I can deal with this. That's not that bad. When you look at over here, oh, where we didn't have the fabric, you know, this is what I'm dealing with all the regularly, where we didn't have the fabric. So that's a lot more weeds. That's not nearly as fun to deal with. So, I mean, just compare one side of the walkway and the other. And the fabric works really well. Even like it worked really well for 5 years while I just used it, and it was productive while I put the holes to put the tomatoes through. And it'll work, it works well for taking it off later and having a regular vegetable garden, because now I can grow anything in this patch, not just tomatoes or peppers or some other seedling that I'm poking the plants through, right? So there you go. That's that. Oh, and I moved the compost pile over there, and you can see, oh, so much quackgrass to deal with. But it used to be over there, and that I didn't like that as much. So we'll see how that goes.